In today's video, we're going to take a driving tour to Duck Creek Village, Utah, which is a mountain town located in southern Utah. This will give you an idea of how long it takes to get up to this mountain town from Cedar City, Utah, as well as what you can expect of this drive. My name is Elizabeth Prisbrey. I'm with Stratum Real Estate Group. If you are thinking of making a move to southern Utah, I would love to help you out with that. Please feel free to call, text, or email me anytime. That contact information is down below in the description. All right, let's check out this beautiful scenic drive. So we are actually going to start the tour just outside of Cedar City on Utah 14. We're going to take that all the way to Duck Creek Village. So we're right at the base of the canyon on Utah 14. We just left Cedar City. You will see to the right, and maybe you won't be able to see it, it's kind of down in the ravine, but Coal Creek will come down this canyon. That's the snow melt off that will come down the canyon. There is a trail off to the right over there where you can actually walk or ride along that trail and experience that creek. It's kind of down in a ravine. Of course, at the end of the winter season when that snow is melting off, it is going to have a lot more water in it. You can see there's a pull off there where you can park and access that trail. Now, as we're at the bottom of this canyon, it is going to be more of a high desert type of scenery. As we get higher in altitude going up the canyon, you'll start to see more of those pine trees. And then the weather is going to cool off a good 20 degrees going from Cedar City up to Duck Creek Village. Now, to the right, we just passed Coal Creek Trail. There's a little bridge there. And then to the left, there's actually another trail called Red Hollow Trailhead, which is really pretty beautiful. Now, I will try to point out as many things as I can as we are driving up the canyon. The real purpose of this is so that you can see the road going up to Duck Creek Village and just get an idea of how long this drive is going to take. So I'll try not to talk your ears off. I will go back and forth. On the left-hand side, we have Rusty's Ranch House. That's a great steakhouse. It takes only about 5 minutes from Cedar City. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Duck Creek Village, this is a mountain town in southern Utah. It will get quite a bit of snow in the winter time. And then in the summer time, those temperatures are really pretty great for those looking to escape the heat. We have a high population of people from Las Vegas that have places in Duck Creek because they're the ones trying to run away from that Vegas heat. So when you get up into Duck Creek, you will see a lot of city people. Now, most of the time people go up to Duck Creek, of course, to escape that heat, but it also is a great area for recreation. So whether it is riding ATVs, those side-by-sides, fishing, there are several different places you can fish up there. Navajo Lake, which I'll point out on the way up, is a great one. You can do hiking, you can do camping, and then it has just beautiful, beautiful views. You can access Cedar Breaks National Monument pretty easily off this road. You can see the Strawberry Point area, which is so beautiful, has that stunning red rock canyons, that amphitheater that you can just observe and overlook. It's really just a beautiful, beautiful place. In the wintertime, since it does get a lot of snow, people will go up and snowmobile, or they'll drive over to Bryan Head and access the ski resort. Now, if you're looking for that mountain getaway where you're wanting to snow, Duck Creek Village does not have ski slopes. However, Bryan Head, Utah does. Bryan Head's about a 30 to 40 minute drive from Duck Creek Village. You can get there most of the time. However, in the winter months, they're actually going to shut off the gates to get over to Bryan Head in order to ski. So you'll have to come down the mountain and go back up another direction. Now, there are people that live in Duck Creek year-round. Not that many, but it is possible to have year-round access up there in some locations. You won't be able to get it everywhere, so you'll want to make sure that we look into that if you decide that you love this area. Whether you're looking to live there year-round or whether you're looking to have a second home in Duck Creek, we'll want to make sure that if that is your goal, that it does have year-round access. So you'll notice off to the left, we have some campgrounds here at the base of the mountain. Of course, there will be some higher up the mountain as well. To the right, that's going to be Cedar Mountain. There is going to be a turnoff where you can go up to Cedar Mountain and access Cedar Highlands. There's some great cabin areas off that direction as well. We also have Milt's Stage Stop coming up here on the right-hand side. This is another great steakhouse that you'll want to check out. Both of these steakhouses are, of course, on this road up to Duck Creek. You won't have great cell reception here, so it's actually a nice place to escape if you're going out on a date, to get a really good meal and to have that beautiful scenery, whether summer, winter. It's just a nice little getaway where you can actually go out and enjoy a good date night. Now, I know this is going to be a little bit longer of a drive. This flatter part, we are still going on an incline. We are climbing the hill, but pretty soon we're going to enter the canyon and the scenery will start changing. You can even see off to the right there, we're already starting to get pine trees. I know it's difficult to tell from the video, but we are actually going up in elevation. And of course, I know the video is probably faster than you would like to see it. Of course, we have to obey the speed limit, so the video will be a little bit faster. With that being said, you can slow it down if you want to take in some of the scenery. I recommend doing the drive on your own, but this will at least give you a good idea of what to expect. Now, this video is taken on a Friday afternoon, which is typically when you're going to see a little bit more traffic going up to the mountain as people are coming up to their vacation homes to get away and to enjoy the weekend. So we will have a little bit more traffic in front of us than we would typically have if we were coming up in the middle of the week. I imagine if it's going to be a second home for you up here, that you'll experience similar kind of traffic. With that being said, this was not a holiday weekend, so it's going to be more of the average type of traffic you would expect on a Friday afternoon. If it's a holiday weekend, Duck Creek does get quite a bit of traffic on Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, the 4th of July, those big holiday weekends where it is still warmer in places like Las Vegas and people are coming up to escape that heat. You'll see a lot of side-by-sides up there and quite a bit of traffic. Now, for the most part, you won't really get that up there unless it's one of those huge weekends. So as you can see, we're starting to get more and more pine trees on the sides of the road, and we're coming into this canyon here where when you're driving it, you'll actually start to feel those temperatures drop a little bit as you're coming through here. Again, I'll come in and mention things if I feel there's something to say. For the most part, this is going to be a scenic tour for you. On the left-hand side, you'll notice some cars parked there. That is where Coal Creek comes down. You can actually go down there and hike the trail up along that Coal Creek, which is really pretty beautiful and stunning down in there. This part of the drive is probably one of my favorites as you see these canyon walls going up the side. Again, the video will never do it justice, but it really is a pretty beautiful scenic drive up to Duck Creek. If I had to choose the drive between Duck Creek or Brian Head, Brian Head's again not that far from Duck Creek. It does have a higher elevation than Duck Creek. That is where the ski town is. That's where you're going to get a lot of your good snow. I would choose this drive because you can see it really is so stunning with this canyon wall next to you and all these green trees coming up out of this rock. I will always find it amazing that these trees can grow up out of these rocks. The drive up to Brian Head, when you're actually going up the canyon, it's only about 20 minutes. Where Duck Creek, you have a longer drive that you're going through and up a canyon. The drive up to Bryan Head is still very, very beautiful. I just prefer the Duck Creek one because of this giant rock here to my right, this giant canyon. It's stunning to me. Now again, we still have Coal Creek down in the ravine to the left. Of course, we've crossed over it because remember when we started this, it was on the right-hand side. Notice how the scenery has changed around us. We were pretty flat on the ground with that high desert landscaping, a lot of the juniper trees. Those have now become large pine trees. It's a lot more shaded, our drive, from the canyon walls around us. And no matter which direction you look, it's just so, so beautiful. Now I know we're going a little bit faster for some of these signs, but you'll see cars pulled off in different locations where they can access trails. Of course, slow it down if you need to. I know you can reduce the speed when you're watching this if you want to zoom in on any of these signs or if you want to pause. There is really so much to explore in this area. Every time I make the drive, I see a new sign and I think, oh, I need to go find that area and check it out because there is so much to do around here. Now you wouldn't think that you'd have access to this beautiful scenery, this increase in elevation in what is really known as a desert. Cedar City is known as a high desert. However, Duck Creek is just a 45-minute drive up the canyon and the scenery becomes completely different. Now I mentioned we're doing this drive on a Friday afternoon and I said there will be more traffic than usual. You can see it's still not bad. It's not like we're in bumper to bumper traffic. Of course, if there's going to be a truck pulling a large trailer, that's going to slow it down a little bit as they climb this mountain. For the most part, the speed limit's going to be around 50 miles per hour. Of course, it is a 2-lane highway. There are a lot of curves and bends, so you want to pay attention to when you need to be slowing down and speeding up. Now on the right-hand side here coming up, we actually have the SUU Mountain Center, or the Southern Utah University Mountain Center. That's a great event center there. Again, no cell service because we are in the canyon, but you can actually hold events there. There's rooms to board in, there's a large kitchen, there's an outdoor area where actually when I was driving back down, I saw a wedding taking place. So it's a great area if you want to look into that for events. Also on the right-hand side, we have coming up here Wood Ranch Recreation Area. I have done a short on this. I'll try and link that below. It's a large meadow, 2 big pavilions. This is actually where my family goes when we are looking to sled. There's a large hill to the right there that the camera didn't quite capture, that you can park and you can climb up that and sled down, and it's expected. You can see it doesn't take that long to get there from Cedar City, so if you're looking for actual snow that you can sled down, that is a great place to do it because there's plenty of parking, and then of course there's those pavilions. There's also a lot of picnic tables, barbecues, there's horseshoe, volleyball, different things that you can partake in there. It's a great place for family reunions, company dinners, and again, it's not that far from Cedar City. Now you'll notice several roads, turnoffs here. We have different campsites and different trails going up to Duck Creek Village. So even if you didn't want to go all the way up, even if you're not looking for a cabin of your own, there are places where you can bring your trailer, you can pull off, you can stay at a campsite, and you can still explore this beautiful part of southern Utah. Now notice we're starting to curve around here. We're going to be going the other direction. This is really where we get one of our larger inclines going up to Duck Creek. Of course, if you're in the car, you can kind of look out the window to the left and see the valley down below. Every part of this drive to me is really pretty beautiful, but you need to come and experience it on your own. So now we're going to curve back the other direction. We're still climbing and it's kind of a hairpin turn, but it's hard to tell here as we're making this drive. Notice those beautiful red rocks in the distance. The camera view doesn't quite capture the color of those rocks. They are pretty red. This is going to be more of the backside of that Cedar Breaks National Monument, where you're at the bottom and you can look up and you can see that Red Rock Canyon amphitheater that is really just so stunning. I think that's one of my favorite parts about this area is it's very unique to have this red rock amongst these beautiful pine trees, and then when the snow hits it, it is really so beautiful. The colors are starting to change. It really will happen pretty quickly, but you'll start to see little parts scattered about as we get up on the mountain. Of course, this drive is going to look different at different times in the year. When we're coming up in the winter, you're going to be seeing quite a bit of snow on this drive. This summer, it's going to be very, very green. Of course, in the fall, you have all your leaves changing colors. You're getting those autumn colors. And then in the spring, of course, we're seeing a lot of things start to bloom and blossom. Now, what you're not getting to see on this drive, because I don't have a camera that swivels, I'll have to look into that for us, but off to my right, you can actually see a beautiful canyon down below. You can see it here, but it's really when we get up around this bend where it's just so beautiful and it goes on for miles and miles. It's definitely one you're going to want to come and check out. Now I am only taking us on the drive up because I felt like it was pretty long. If you find that you want to see the drive down, just let me know in the comments and I'll make sure that I get that for you. I know some of you have told me that you like that I go up and back so that you can see both directions. So I'm more than willing to do that if that's a view that you want to see. You can see, because we are in mid-September, some of this area doesn't quite look as green as it did, say, a month ago, because we've already started seeing some leaves start to change and fall off. Now this is the area where I feel like when you look out to the right, you're really going to see that valley of canyons dropping down and coming up that is so, so beautiful and so, so stunning that you'll definitely want to see. Notice there will be little areas where you can pull your car off to the side and just jump out real quick for a photo op. Be very careful when you're doing this. It is a 2-lane highway, and if there's a lot of traffic, you want to make sure that you are safe and you are protected. Here's another area where it's really so beautiful if you can look out to the side. Also, you can see there's a lookout. We just saw that car pull off. That's a perfect spot to pull off and get just beautiful, stunning pictures. You're getting kind of a glimpse of it here. What I really should have done is angled the camera off to the side so that you could see that, and then taken the drive back down with it off the other direction. Again, we're still climbing up on the mountain. You'll see when we get to the top, it's going to flatten out and not quite have as many trees around us. We'll have a great meadow that's perfect for snowmobiling. Notice we came up, it got a little bit more flat. Now we're starting to see some meadows amongst these pine trees. So you can see we've climbed up the mountain. This is kind of what I was talking about for the snowmobiling, and this isn't even the largest open area, but you can tell we've gone up quite a bit in elevation here. The camera, of course, just doesn't show that. So right here, this is kind of the meadow I was talking about. Sometimes we'll come up here and this meadow will be filled with sheep. In the wintertime, it's a blanket of snow. Now notice the sign here to the right. There is going to be a turn here to the left. See where that truck just turned? That is actually the road that you will take over to Brian Head. That's also the road that you will take to get to the Cedar Breaks National Monument. That is something you definitely want to check out. So beautiful, so stunning. There's also several campsites along that road, and it'll take about 30 minutes from Duck Creek to get over to Brian Head. A little bit shorter from that point over to Brian Head because we still have a good 10 to 15 minutes before we get to Duck Creek. Again, we are starting to spot some of these leaves changing colors in these trees. It's so beautiful up here when it does. Now, if I had done this tour a month ago, this meadow would have looked pretty green here. I wanted to try and time it right for you. I didn't quite get all the coloring in the leaves. Swains Creek had snow, so I thought, ooh, I better get up there and get it before they just come and go and we don't even see it. Swains Creek is a subdivision in Duck Creek Village. It's actually south of the actual village. Swains Creek does not allow short-term rentals, so there are some pros and cons to that if you're looking to live up here year-round, or if you want a second home that you don't necessarily want to rent out. That is a great subdivision to check out because it does not allow it in their CC&Rs. And there are quite a bit of amenities with that Swains Creek subdivision, so definitely an area to look into. For the most part, though, that's the main subdivision that doesn't allow short-term rentals. There are several others that are worth looking into. The majority of them will allow the short-term rentals, but we want to make sure that we look into those and check their CCNRs before I say yes they do or no they don't. It will be dependent on where you want to go. Now, I have made other videos that are going to give you a little bit more information about Duck Creek Village. I'll link those below in this video so that if you find that you're interested in this, you have all of that information. This video, again, is really just to give you an idea of the drive going up to Duck Creek Village to see if this is something that you would enjoy or to see if you feel like the drive is bad or not. Really just to give you a full picture if you can't be here. You've got the drive up, you've got your pros and cons video, a map tour, just really giving you a good idea of this area. Now again, we've got more meadow here on the left. If you're somebody that snowmobiles, picture this blanketed in snow in the winter time. I'll have to come up and get a little bit more video of this for you so that you can see it, but just blankets and blankets of snow. It's so beautiful. Of course, my favorite part of the drive is always going to be going in that canyon when I start to see the pine trees pop up and the juniper trees start to dissipate. Now, I'm not sure I mentioned it before or not. I did say this is a Friday afternoon. This drive's taking place right around 4 p.m. just to kind of give you an idea of where the sun is and what to expect. Again, you're going to see several roads and turnoffs where you can access different campgrounds, different trails, places that you'll want to visit and explore, but there really is so much to explore up here. This driving tour is really just to Duck Creek Village, so we won't be exploring everything in this video. Now pretty soon we're going to have the turn off for Navajo Lake. It'll be coming up here on the right. Navajo Lake, you're actually going to have to drive down into where the lake is. There's a lookout for it before you get there. This is a reservoir that collects that snow melt off. At the beginning of spring, it'll be pretty full and they'll gradually let that water release down into the canyon. This area is shut off from about November to May, and you can't actually get down in there. Now there is land down there. You can kind of see it over this ridge here. The lake is down below there. You can pull off in that area and actually look out and read about the lake. But there is fishing, there's campgrounds, you can actually kayak down there. It is a beautiful, beautiful lake, so stunning. The scenery is just beautiful. You'll definitely want to check that out. I wish I could have gotten it in this video. However, I have done a short on it that you can check out as well. So if you were to get property down by Navajo Lake, it really is stunning. You'd be surprised that this area is located in southern Utah. But if you were to get land or have a cabin down in there, it's going to be off-grid living. You can't access it. It's only seasonal access, so you won't be able to get there in the winter unless you snowmobile down in. You'll have to bring in your own water. You'll have to get solar panels, septic, in order to have a place down there. But for those of you looking for that kind of vacation home, it is really pretty stunning down there. It's not a far drive from Duck Creek Village though, so if you have a place there and you want to just go down to fish or to kayak, you can definitely do that. Or if you're coming up from somewhere else, that is where I personally would want to camp, just because you have the water right there and it's really pretty stunning. I know I keep saying that, but that's because that's how I feel about this area. So right there where that truck turned, that's going to be the road that you take down to Navajo Lake. Now don't expect to have service as you are making this drive. You'll get cell reception when you are in Duck Creek Village, but pretty much everywhere else along this drive you're not going to have cell service. You'll notice on either side of the highway, very rocky area. This is actually lava rock, and it's more black than it actually shows in this video, but you'll find tons of area with this lava rock up and around Duck Creek. It's a really interesting landscape as far as having the lava rock, you have the pine trees, you've got the quakies, sometimes you'll see little lakes and ponds. It's really so beautiful. I know I keep saying that, and this video really just doesn't do it justice. It's definitely worth checking out. And like I said, there's another little pond right off here to the left that you can go in, and I've seen people fishing there. Now, Duck Creek Village itself isn't very large. We have the main Movie Ranch Drive, and that's where we'll actually end our driving tour since that's technically considered Duck Creek Village. However, Duck Creek does actually span quite far to the north and to the south. Several different subdivisions up behind Movie Ranch Drive to the north, and then several to the south, such as Strawberry Point, Swains Creek, which is again a little bit further down south. Really so many to choose from up here. For the most part, the year-round access roads, they maintain pretty well, but they are all going to be gravel once we turn off of this UT14. Now, even though they are gravel, when I say year-round access, that means that they are maintaining those gravel roads during the winter and making sure that those roads are plowed. If you have your own place, of course, you're going to have to make sure that you get your personal driveway plowed if you'd like to access that in the winter. And I would recommend maintaining that, staying on top of it if you plan to access it. Don't wait until you go up there to get it plowed because that snow will likely build up too high. You're going to want to just have someone on retainer that when it snows, they make sure your driveway is plowed, and just consider that kind of part of your landscaping bill in the winter. Now notice we turned into the turn lane here. We are actually at Duck Creek Village. I will turn left here so you can see it, but right to the right is going to be Movie Ranch Drive where you can access a lot of the stores. We're actually going to stop it right here though and save the actual village for another video. All right, great job if you made it this far. I know this was a longer video, but I really wanted to give you an idea of how long this drive takes and what to expect. Of course, the video will never do this area justice. It really is such a beautiful drive and worth taking the time to come and check it out. If you decide that you want to purchase a place in Duck Creek, or if you'd like more information about it, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Remember, my name is Elizabeth Prisbrey. I'm with Stratum Real Estate Group, and you can find that contact information down below in the description. All right, until next time, have a wonderful day.